Hey guys, Yoko Mizuhara Cosplay here. So 2015 con season has started for some people and is starting to ramp up for everyone else. We know mostly it gets up in the summer, but I wanted to do a review of all the cons I went to in 2014, 13 of them to be precise, to maybe give you guys some insight, especially in the southeast, of some good cons, family-friendly, smaller, bigger party cons. Some things that I noticed, and hopefully it'll help you guys decide some cons you may want to attend this year. Alright, so first con I went to last year and first con I'll be going to in 2015 is Comic-Con. It's in February, it's actually this weekend, so it may be a little soon to make plans for, but it's smaller, family-friendly. I only went for a day, but it's pretty fun overall. Definitely if you like anime and you like small cons where you can be interactive and participate with the con a lot, then I would recommend it. They also are pretty good about guests. Next, I went to Magicon. This is very much the opposite of Comic-Con. It's a large convention. It is a convention center and it's comic focused. It's a little more industry. I went with Geeklerv as a brand ambassador. I had a lot of fun, but honestly, it's not really my kind of convention. When the convention center shuts down, it's pretty much done. There's a few after parties, but there's not a whole lot of nightlife or a whole lot going on. And then during the day, it's so busy that it's just much harder to meet people and really, you can stop and see a lot of awesome costumes, see a lot of awesome guests and a great dealer's room, but it's not as easy to interact with people for me. So I won't be going back this year unless there's some kind of like guest or panel or something like that, but I'm currently not planning to. MTAC, it is in Nashville. It's in April. It's a medium-sized anime convention. Last year it was MTAC in Love and everyone dubbed it MTAC in Line because the venue is much too small for the amount of people it had, and thus it was difficult to get into any events, dealer's room, and was just too hot and really annoying. However, they have changed venues and I'm really excited to go back this year. It's back at Sheridan Music City and they're also going to have a different hotel so the con is going to be between two convention centers. Not really sure how that's going to go. I've never really seen it go too great except for Dragon Con, but that's a huge convention with connected hotels. This one, they're going to have a shuttle. So I'm optimistic, but realistically, I don't think the logistics are going to be amazing. I do think it'll still be a lot of fun, but I imagine most people are going to hang out in Sheraton Music City and not so much the other hotel, the Marriott. We'll see. Maybe they'll work it out that the shuttle is just like on top of it and it works out really well. Either way, I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. It's got a great atmosphere. It's family friendly during the day, but also has a lot of grown-up 18 and up panels at night. So I also do Atlanta Anime Day. It's a very small dealer's room kind of convention, anime focused, Atlanta. Generally there's one in the spring and one in the fall. I go to both of them just because it's a good excuse to cosplay, get your picture taken, and see friends. There's not a whole lot of panels or really much to do, but it's just a hangout con. MomoCon was my third favorite con out of 13, so that's pretty good, of 2014. And I'm sure it'll rank really highly in 2015 too. I'm very optimistic. It is a gaming and multi-genre convention in Atlanta in May, towards the end of May. It's a good time of year that it's not too hot yet. It's a really good size, about 15,000 people. I'm sure it'll grow as well. They always bring amazing guests. Everything they do is very well organized. Their staff is very well trained. Everyone is really friendly. It's easy to make friends. All the panels are everything is just perfect. Like, if I would recommend a well-run convention, this would be it. It's very family-friendly in the day. At night, there's a little bit of a party scene, but it's not so much a party con. They are moving venues this year, so that'll be an interesting thing. I imagine there's going to be more places to shoot if you're willing to try to walk a little bit for good photos for cosplay, so that's exciting. Overall, highly recommend MomoCon. Next, I went to Alabama's Phoenix Fest. It's in Birmingham, Alabama, last weekend in May, first weekend in June. They haven't announced a 2015 date, so I'm not really sure if it's going to happen again. But it was a sci-fi con I was a guest at. Mostly I did panels and didn't do much else. So it's a smaller con, you know, which is good. You get to meet people at smaller cons much easier and find them again. But I don't even know if it's going to happen this year. So if you are in the Alabama local and want to go to a sci-fi con, I'd recommend it if it happens again. Next, I went to A-Con, and that's generally the first or second weekend in June in Dallas, Texas. It's my Magicon. I've ended up there magically for the past few years. But I, never planned it. We'll see if it happens this year. It's a larger anime con. I would say the crowd seems a little rowdier to me. Like, I did High School of the Dead and people were like picking me up and following me around, and I've never had that happen, even walking alone by myself in the same costume at other cons. So I don't really know why that was. Maybe it was just an off year. Overall, I like A-Con and everything. They do a lot of great industry panels and industry guests, so I'll give them that. And I would go back if it worked out, if the stars aligned as they have magically for the past few years, but to me, it's not really worth the 10-hour drive and, at the cost and everything from Atlanta. Session Con was my next one. It's a smaller anime con in Atlanta towards the end of June. They had some issues finding a good venue that really fit them. I think that said, they did well with what they had. They had a really good game room for the size of the con, like arcade games, which is surprising. To me at least. I did the costume contest, I helped run it. I think everything went pretty smoothly, especially for a con of that size. Panels went well. Overall, I think everything went well. Good thing of a small anime con especially is it's very easy to meet and make friends for the weekend. Bigger cons, you end up missing people a lot. But I don't think Session Con is doing a full con in 2015. I would say keep your eyes open for an event, but not a full con. Next was my second favorite con of all of 2014, PlayOnCon. It is CampCon. It is a gaming convention about an hour south of Birmingham, Alabama. It's going to be July 9th through 12th. I've already got my room and I'm really excited. I'm hoping to throw a party, and I'm doing a lot of interactive, really wide-scale events, and this is a con you're going to see panels at that you won't see anywhere else. You'll see things like Iron Bartender, so it is definitely a party con. There's family-friendly stuff in the day, but it is much more party con. There's a non-party dorm and hotel rooms and all that, and there are kid tracks, but 1/3 of the programming is parties. That is definitely the goal. But at the same point, you can do archery, you can do canoeing, you can do rock climbing, you can have campfires and water gun fights, and just all this crazy stuff that may not be too cosplay friendly, or you may want to pack, bathing suit costumes is my game plan this year. But it's really fun. It's worth the drive to the middle of nowhere Birmingham, or middle of nowhere Alabama, and get a tent, do whatever, I slept on a bunk. It was so exciting. Yeah, I can't say enough about how different PlayOnCon is. It's smaller, it's a party con, but it's just not the same as other cons. Like, it's a very different experience, and 24/7, gaming from the time you get there to the time you leave is also, I really like board games, so that's fun. Next was Level Up Con. Is the nickname of it to me. It's GooCon. It's in mid-July. It was in Atlanta, and it's mostly a workshop-based convention run by the engineer guy. So it's the perfect place to get all the new skills for your DragonCon costumes. I actually modeled for a life cast, so I got my pretty little there that I can use, and I learned a lot of skills. I definitely will go back and hopefully learn some more things. If you've never been, I would highly recommend it. I've only been once, so I can't really say much if you've gone before, if you would just learn the same things again or not, but it's definitely worth a first try, and it's, really inexpensive if you're local. It's worth the drive just to learn. If you enjoy learning costuming skills, it is worth it. Next is my favorite con of the year, Dragon Con. It's Labor Day weekend in Atlanta, and it takes over all of Atlanta, like 5, 6, all of the hotels in Atlanta pretty much. Only downside to Dragon Con is it is huge. For better or for worse, it's 60, 70,000 people in costume running around craziness. It is expensive and difficult, you know, but there are cheaper ways to do it. You can get a hotel a little bit further, take the MARTA, or, you know, carpool, split a taxi, split Uber, split Lyft. Any of those options are good ways to do Dragon Con cheaper and safely, and it's definitely worth it no matter how you do Dragon Con. First year I went, I stayed at a hotel a few blocks away, and this was when I was still in high school. My mom, drove me back and forth each day. And I still had a lot of fun, even leaving early. But Dragon Con is definitely a large party con. It's so big that there's everything you could possibly imagine. But the appeal of it is large party con. Just be warned, it takes a while to get an elevator. Next was AWA. It was my first con ever back in 2003, as this is my 10-year cosplay anniversary. 2004 is my first cosplay. But Marietta, it's in the end of September. I only went Thursday night and Friday, so I missed out on a lot of it, and I was really bummed. But if you like anime, if you want a larger anime con, it's around 20,000-ish, I think. And they definitely do a lot of anime industry stuff, great AMV panels, and always great guests. Musical guests are great. Good dealer's room. It's about the same dealer's room you see at most cons of that size. So as far as party scene, it's not as much of one. They are a little more relaxed than they have been in previous years, but it's not a party con. If you're determined, you can always find a way, but that's not the appeal of AWA. It's more family friendly, daytime, cosplay, get a lot of awesome photos, that kind of thing. Then also, the reason I was only at AWA for Thursday night and Friday is I left midday Friday to fly out to Fandom Fest, which is a horror convention in San Antonio, Texas. They had an amazing, for a con of that size, especially cosplay and guest lineup in general. They did the year before that as well. They offered a $250 cosplay contest grand prize, and it was a lot of fun. They had really educational panels. I, got to meet a lot of awesome costumers, and San Antonio is a really great city. Got to go see the Alamo and everything. The people who run it are really nice. The woman in charge is really sweet, and just in general, Fandom Fest I was a guest at, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun, and I definitely am planning to go back this year, and I'm excited it's not during AWA, so I can go to both. Fandom Fest was my last con of 2014. I did a couple other little events around Atlanta, MomoCon on tour, photo shoots, cosplay on ice. MomoCon is great, not only as a con itself, but that they do a lot of events around Atlanta. So definitely check them out. Keep an eye on all their board gaming. Everything they do really is really top notch and a lot of fun. So I hope that helps. I'm looking forward to the 2015 con season. Maybe I'll do more reviews and more timely rather than a year, word vomit at the end of all of it. But anyway, what are your guys, let me know what your favorite cons are, 2014, what cons you're really looking forward to in 2015. I'm really looking forward to, other than the ones I said I'm going to, ColossaCon. I'm super excited to go play at a water park and cosplay. So let me know, what are your favorite cons? What's your best and worst con experience? What are you looking forward to cosplaying? Just leave it in the comments, and like and subscribe, and cos party on, guys. Bye.